Alright guys, let's analyze each of the trades that I am taking right now. So this is the comparison of natural gas, which is this chart right here, and crude oil, and why I've basically been shorting natural gas aggressively. And it's basically, as you can see right here in this chart, basically you see how weak is natural gas in comparison. And the actual short started around here, you know. So basically, I talked about natural gas, and around this place, I actually was around like long, like here, right? I was in the money, but eventually got stopped out, break even. And around this place, everything I look for my process, everything that's in without my framework, because I've been taking some trades and some of them are not purely in that framework, maybe a little bit of over trading. And basically around here, everything was super good, but it just failed, you know. And when it failed, I started like analyzing this chart and all that. And basically, first I understood that natural gas was way weaker than the oil. Second, I am in some Discord charts, and just a guy said the idea of natural gas. Then I checked, then I thought it was looking very interesting. That's why I went long. And as I went short, as I was break even, I was like, hey man, let's short this, because I analyzed it, the data from. So what is? Sorry, let's go. All right, this data. You can see how crude oil speculators were were closing the positions, and natural gas speculators were closing. In other words, they were more long here, more long here. So you want to fade these hedge funds, but also like the chart is with this relative strength, like which one you want to short. You always want to short the weakest. So basically, I had this opportunity in the 2 hours because like the chart looked like this, you know, like this engulfing candle like that, which I like, you know. I mean, every opportunity in the within everything that I have said, you could like just short using your MACD indicator and try it, you know, like you don't lose a lot if you do this, but you can win a lot. So that was the whole thesis, you know. And basically, as I shorted that, I still had some further target, which was around here. So I just took more trades on the short side today, which is some kind of going long equities. And there's also like a process of reading the consensus all the single time and fading the consensus. All right. So basically today I took one short here that was stopped out, then the second one here that was bad, and then the actual third one which ended up working. And I might be a bit lucky, you know, also because natural gas just went terrible here, but you know, it's all that data that matters and all that. All right, so hopefully this trade has been understood. More on that particular trade, and these are things that I look all the time. So basically, I wanted to close because natural gas and commodities are not so mean reverting as are equities. So basically, I'm not just usually if you see this in equities, I mean, studying my past trades, I should not be greedy and start closing because we have huge rallies. And I would have made better, you know, like in the past when I've been shorting the Dow Jones, the Russell, I just would have done better to close as soon as they move lower. But here, you know, I was like, okay, I'm done with here. And as today didn't bounce and the whole setup still did look weak, I just, took more trades using my indicators, because here's the thing, you know, like using these indicators, like whenever you're wrong, you lose a bit, and when you're right, you know, you can still play the long-term game, so you can make a lot of money. And I combine that with my 15 minutes, my 15 minutes too, all right? And usually what you don't want to do is something like this. So you can see here how this I mean, usually, like you want to short like here, or like even here, because that was another try. But usually, like the most sharp moves, you don't wanna short immediately. You wanna wait for a bounce. So here I didn't short. I tried to wait for a bounce, but then cross up. So I didn't want to short at least until the 5 minutes came in. Right. So how long is this taking? I don't know. I'm just talking with you guys, and I'm, as I told, this is helpful for me because I kind of like go through the trade and I know everything that I'm looking for and all that. And here is the 15 minutes, so I do sometimes only the 15 minutes, but with natural gas is so fast that I wanna like a lower time frame. You need to adapt to each trade, sorry. And that's it. We closed here. I mean, it didn't reach my main goal, but I didn't want to have this opened through the weekend, so I'm satisfied with that one. Right, on the Russell, we had this attempt to break out here. Like all right, so how does this work, this trade? So basically, you need to, because this is what I do in real time, to decide which one I actually take the trade. So like this, all right? And like I'm not using any rock or any long-term momentum indicator. I'm just doing something like this. So through the day, basically, this is the Russell in black and is the one that is doing worse. But at the time that I wanted to go long, actually the one that was strongest was the Russell. So you can see here, I mean, so I'm just looking all these in real time, which is what I call watching the tape, because I watch the markets every single day, all the time. So you can see here all the indices dump. Here is Russell, the one that dumps the least, and as goes up, it's very close to this recent high, while all of them are lagging. So which one I wanna take the trade? I wanna take the trade in this one. All right. So it went up, but then it went down a lot. You can see here, like, this is so freaking unusual, And it happened, I didn't place the stop loss because I was like, all right, I'm going to close it manually, but I forget for a second and it was a mess. So I had to wait all that and sell in that bounce. I could have waited a little bit more, but I didn't want to play that bounce game, Okay, so that's what went wrong here, But until here, it was looking phenomenal, and I was looking for longs, in the equity indices. So let's move to my charts again, because I'm looking at the 2 hours. MACD is crossed up, and we have like this little base, and I'm like, so the actual process looks like this, all right? So you can understand better in real time what it looks like. This is a kind of little breakout, but I am entering here, because I love this pattern here, this candlestick pattern. I just happen to love it. Works so good all the time, because this is some sort of people goes here, then they sell it. It's like shaking hands. It's like a false breakout almost. And I do play this all the time, these false MACD breakouts and with price with the MACD, like, because once it fails the second time, it's more probable. So I do that basically all the time. So around here, I was in the money. So you have like a super tight position, because actually, let's move again to the 5 minutes. So basically, you can understand everything, like how to, like if you do it well, and you're super patient and you do this mechanically all the time, which is not like something that I'm doing every freaking time, because I tend to overtrade a little bit, and sometimes it's not a bad thing, within my whole process, because I get more ideas and it's how I do things. But ideally, I wanna like be better, at doing this. So I was looking just for this to cross up, and if this crossed down, I should have sold, but I didn't, and it was a mess, like the move was very, very unusual, as I just showed you with the Russell versus the all other indices. All right, and now, well, and then around here, because, okay, so let's put again this. This is super helpful for me, guys. I mean, I also do it for myself. You know, it helps me a lot to review the trades and all that. So here you can see it was super weak, while all the others were up. So I said, hell, now I'm gonna take a short here. Why I'm taking a short? Well, because of that analysis, which still in place, you know, this analysis. This is my analysis to be short the Russell. And that still in place until I see new highs. So that's it, guys. So basically I said, all right, hell no, let's short it. And you can see here, this was the only place to short it. I mean, you didn't want to short the Nasdaq 100, which went up. You know, you want to short the weakest. And this is super helpful, guys. This is so helpful. Please understand that. So I was shorting this, it went up like this, then it went up like this, then blah, 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 and then it moved higher the whole session. So I have just recently took a short, again another short, because I have, as I said, positioned here in Nike, which I'm going to explain right now, and I'm finishing this video. So I want to have still short exposure, as this, the Russell, still has this MACD cross down, and I want to basically play each attempt of it. My whole thesis is, since that point, which we broke out like around here, and it bounced very wild, you know, like it's very hard to hold these shorts. My whole thesis is like every time the MACD crosses in the 2 hours, I want to be short the Russell. And I want to be short the Russell because it's the weakest. That's it. Previously, the weakest was the Dow Jones. Now it's the Russell. And it helps me because I kind of hedge my long position. So imagine Trump comes and says something like super crazy, I'm going to be hedged. All right, so that's, I mean, I want to be hedged the weakest thing. Sorry, I want to be short the weakest thing. I want to be long the strongest thing. And that's pretty it, you know, like I want to play every single attempt of this crossing down. And usually, like, you don't want to be like, all right, this cross down and I'm short here. No, it's like this cross down, it still cross down, and you're shorting from here, because this is like kind of like more mean reversion, you know. And that's it. Like today we will see the COT data. And maybe with the COT data, I see some data of the hedge funds, how are they positioned, and I just changed my mind. I said, hey, close this. But yeah, that's how it is. And if you want to know the whole process for shorting this, well, it's in that video. All right. And yeah, I have some of a big position, I believe, here. Maybe I cut it a little bit, you know, to be more chill. And then let's go with Nike. What happened to Nike? Well, I'm not gonna do like a big fundamental analysis on Nike. I'm just gonna say the actual like super setup, and I missed it. Like I knew if that happened, I would be buying, which I wanted to buy exactly here. But I was focused with the Russell, with the natural gas. It was a mess of a day, and I forget that, and I saw it like too late, like here. Or yeah, around here. But it's still a very decent trade. The only thing is that I am like a 2%. Yeah, I'm like a 2% or so, maybe a little bit less, because I would have bought here. Yeah, I'm like almost 2%. You know, not perfect entry point. So this is like, if I were already like 2%, I would have that cushion. I would be more chill. But I think Nike is overall like one big opportunity. So things I see is like today is super strong. I wanna see if that it keeps that momentum. So things, all right, let's talk about things. All right. So what I want to see is that confluence and those MACDs crossing up. So for a very long-term position that I intend to keep Nike, I don't care that much if the entry point was excellent, but things that we don't want to see, we don't want to see any overextension. So there is no overextension when you buy on the dailies. And you can see how the MACD actually crossed here. It went down like this, like -3%, and now it's breaking out with the MACD already closed. So I like to see that. This is something that I always like to see. But I also like to see like no any overextension in the 2 hours, which happens to be true. There is sure overextension in the 15 minutes, as you can see, touch it here. But I mean, I cannot do anything because the stock is so strong. It is not pulling back, and that's something I want to see. Like you see here, like higher highs than that. This is what you see when a stock is super strong. And my take is like some people are buying because they're realizing this can be an opportunity. There's some interest in the market, definitely. All right. So this is the setup, all right. With the 2 hours, you know, we had this, which peaked here. I kind of like to see it like this, you know. I mean, I could say it like this, but I like more like this. And now the MACD just crossed here, you know. So ideally, you wanna buy lower because there's overextension in the 15 minutes, but it's so strong it doesn't matter that much, you know. But the perfect trade would have been to have been prepared this one and all that. All right, so things I like about Nike. The first one is obviously consensus. I mean, keep in mind that this stock has been dead for 5 years, and year to date it had a -40% downside, you know, from like, oops, I don't know if you see that. Well, you can see it's -40% only this year. This is like a classic company, stable, you know, bad results and all that, but this is a classic company. This is not like speculative stuff. This is a company that had very bad luck and executed bad and all that, but still has its mode, you know. It has its brand, all that, and it's important to have some fundamental analysis. For me, it is. It's extremely undervalued, and the only fundamental analysis that I'm checking is at morningstar.com. All right, I'm not doing any fundamental analysis than that. Its value is like double than what it is today. But you know, like there's retail capitulation, and that's what I love to see. I love to see that retail capitulation and everything. I'm just telling you because I don't want to like buy here and like even if you bought here, you haven't lost money. Well, you have, because you've missed the whole semis run, which happened in April and in May and in even June. So yes, you have lost money. So you want to see something beaten down, and now it's regaining momentum. It's regaining momentum after having done some MACD crosses that were basically bullshit, you know, trash. Which you buy here, this MACD cross is trash. You buy here, this one is absolutely trash. You buy here, it's trash. So now maybe it's more probable that it's working, and we have that confluence with other time frames, as I'm telling you. And I'm liking that this is very strong, decently strong, while there's some narrative of increased fear in the markets, you know, with the Trump thing and all that. And I just like that. And I just think it's the time to be a buyer of Nike. And then when I go through YouTube, some guys, I mean, this has been 5 years down straight. I mean, it's not easy. Think 5 years losing money, 80% of money almost. I mean, that's not easy. So people do capitulate at bottoms, of course, because there's so much pain involved that you don't want to know anything else of Nike. And how do I know that? Well, I just go through YouTube commentaries, and they all say, basically, the people that started recommending Nike, and they thought they were geniuses because maybe they were here and it was super undervalued. You see, because like if you had bought here, like, well, this has fallen 60%. All right, yeah, but from this point to this very point, you've lost 40% and you've missed returns in the stock market. So people just come with excuses like, I don't like the strategy of the company, all that. Okay, so you didn't like it here and you didn't like it here, all right. But yeah, that's capitulation. That's capitulation. And I also like this weeklies, how it's been holding here, and now it looks like it wants to do it. So yeah, man, like I like everything about Nike right here, and I think I also like that I can hold this for some time. Hopefully I can hold that for some time and be a bit out of the intraday trading and be a little bit more chill. All right, and finally with Philip Morris. Yeah, because that was a mess. I mean, the first two trades, which happened like here and like here, were amazing. I'm not gonna cover how all that went, but basically, what I bought. Think about here, and yeah, ended up selling here. Yeah, now it's up. But sometimes it's like I feel a bit uncomfortable waiting too long for a bounce. It's usually better to wait for a bounce than selling it when it's puking here. I mean, I actually didn't sell it here because today was puking here. I sold it more like here. All right, so I wait for a bounce, but I was not greedy enough to hold through all the session to sell it later. And yeah, I mean, it suddenly stopped working. Suddenly super weak against its indices. Like more like if we watch it like here, like yeah, you can see today, like as today the XLP bounced because this has been very correlated, and you can see how weak is this, but it can suddenly flip. I'm telling you, it can do it, and it can go up if actually Russell goes down or another equity indices. But like you don't want to short definitely the Nasdaq, the S&P. You don't want to short them. They look great. They look about to break out, and I have no problem if they do that. I'm still long. Actually, and you can see the RSP, they don't look bad, but we have major resistances in here. This is actually a major resistance, and I'm not comfortable, with being super long, because I'm in different chats and new people is coming every day. Like, people is getting interested in markets. People is not super bullish, but when this happens, you have chop. You don't have downside, and you have your chop. Right? Okay, so let's leave it here.